After 2 rotations, essentially half the competition, the United States has seen a little under a point shaved off their lead. It's now 1.4. As we go to the beam, the United States and Sabrina Vega. It must be very different, Tim, to look at her now compared to what she looked like when you first saw her in Tokyo.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Right before the qualifying competition, the athletes are lining up to march into the arena, and she was crying heavily. I think she was just so overwhelmed with that she was going to be competing in a World Championships, and quite frankly, she was very nervous.
You know what they say sometimes, just get it out. Go ahead, cry it out.
And she did that because she was tremendous in the qualifying and has been great here so far as well.
And you can't tell an athlete who is coming into this situation for the first time, it'll be okay, just do what you do in the gym, it'll all be fine. I remember that feeling too, and I completely agree. It is overwhelming, no kidding. But like you said, Al, just get it out, do your stuff, and she is doing that. She is competing like a veteran.
But, you know, I've never seen anybody really be that emotional. Did you ever cry?
No, I didn't cry.
Well, it had to get everybody's attention on Team USA to see that lead go from 2.3 to 1.4.
And, you know, this is balance beam, and they're great here, but you got to stay on.
And this is what Marta Karolyi is looking for. A key event like balance beam, set the tone. She is doing her job as the lead-off athlete. Nicely done.
A great job.
And she has some lovely artistic qualities, not to mention great athletic ability. Yeah, she looked really calm up there.
Yeah,
just
she did.
Going through the motions of her routine, and I have to say, doing what she does in training.
But that has been what we just see right here is the difference between the USA and everybody else in the competition is they answer the call and they're not making mistakes. That's all there is to it.
Pressure.
14.833, so it's hit, hit, hit. They went 20 for 20 in qualifying. So far, they've gone 7 for 7. And here is the elder stateswoman at 17, Raisman.
But she has been in this position before, and this is what she's been able to offer to the other teammates. This is what it feels like. Here's how you have to handle it.
Yeah, she's a veteran, all right, 17 years old.
And she's a true all-arounder. You can put Raisman in any position.
I talked to her after the first day of competition, and you know, the one thing that she does that other people struggle with, everybody says just make it like another practice, but she says that she can actually pull it off, and I believe it. She doesn't feel any more pressure here, remarkably, than she does down at the ranch at one of the selection camps, and that's amazing.
Well, the only difference is, Tim, from a team standpoint, a major mistake here in the hopes of the entire team come crashing down. When you're down on the ranch, you make a mistake, you just get up and do it again.
Right. Well, you know, what I think she does as well as anybody I've ever seen is she is exactly in the moment. She's not thinking of anything that happened prior or that's going to happen, exactly in the moment. Punch right there, land.
Beautiful.
Right there.
So that's another hit.
Another hit.
As you see, Mihai Brestjan, he coached both Raisman and, of course, the injured Alicia Sacramone.
Yeah, everything was on both gymnastically and in her head. She has it all figured out, and that's an important quality to have, I tell you. That's something that Marta Karolyi wants to be able to count on, and this bodes well for looking down the road to London.
Very difficult dismount, actually called a Patterson, named after U.S. Olympic all-around champion in 2004, Carly Patterson.
So almost identical scores for the first two Americans on the balance beam. We'll see Jordyn Wieber in a few moments, but right now China remains on the floor in this third rotation.
This is a beautiful routine here.
Chelaru.
This mount is fantastic. Watch this. Watch the height she gets. Oh.
We've been watching this sport together for a long time. We've seen a tremendous evolution in the Chinese dance element of floor exercise, haven't we?
No question about it. It's like they didn't care in the beginning.
Well, they've put a lot of effort into their choreography. This is one of my favorite routines at the championship. And with the greater emphasis on artistry, it's important to have.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, that's an enjoyable routine.
The United States remaining on the balance beam. This is Jordyn Wieber. Again, the women's all-around. She'll be part of that story tomorrow right here on NBC.
And just like her teammates, she has been a rock. I looked over my notes from the podium training from the first day of competition, and after her name, the thing that I wrote down first was like a rock every time on all four events.
You know, we lost Al Davis, the owner of the Oakland Raiders, this week, and he would love her. Just win, baby.
Yep.
And the other thing about Jordyn is she's not afraid. She's not afraid of the spotlight. She's not afraid to actually do really well and, you know, to let everyone know. She enjoys this position.
You know, it's amazing. The last two Olympic champions have come from the United States in the all-around, and this young lady right here is unquestionably in contention, not just here in Tokyo, but it could be a three-peat for Team USA. Watch this big skill here. Right at the end of a routine, so risky.
Yeah, and it comes so late, as you said, in the routine. Just her dismount. Wow.
Unreal.
Yeah, she's feeling it today.
Yeah, not just her, though. I mean, when you look at all of the routines that have already happened, USA 20 for 20, as you said, Al, in the qualifying round, and now they are 9 for 9 with just 3 more to go.
And they have to feel as though putting the balance beam behind them in the rearview mirror is one of the best feelings that could come today right now.
Yeah, I mean, if something was going to go wrong, it was going to go wrong here, in my opinion. So they still got to get the job done. They have 3 very difficult floor routines to get accomplished, but wow, they have been on a roll.
And Tim, they have saved their best beam score for last. Jordyn Wieber, a 15.033. So the big mistake still missing. It came early for China. Chelaru gets a 14.633. The numbers continuing to come in from around the Tokyo Metropolitan Gymnasium.
We've done awesome today so far. Let's just hit the last event perfectly and prove to everyone that we're the best team in the world. We can do this. to do is just relax and have fun and enjoy it. Okay?
The special moment of our lives. We can do this. Ali Raisman is 17. Second half of the third rotation, Romania is on the floor. This is Diana Maria Chelaru.
It was a hit routine, a good solid exercise, a little jumping around on some of the landings, but...
Well, it was cheerful, it was playful, it was a typical Romanian style floor routine. She hit her elements, it wasn't wonderful. The landings, of course, in women's floor exercise today, they're expecting them to stick every tumbling pass or else there are deductions.
A big part of Romanian culture, a legend faltering a bit, but now the head coach, Octavian Belu, who brought so much of the Romanian success to the Olympics and World Championships in the past, is back, and they have to be watching in Romania right now thinking that this is the rebuild.
Yeah, and actually the counterpart to Belu, Mariana Bitang, is home because Belu said, we have 15-year-olds, and they are very good, and someone must stay and prepare them for London.
Chelaru, 14.233. You have to love those little voices.
They're all like sisters.
And now Viktoria Komova, barely as tall as the beam.
Well, she's grown. She's grown in the last couple of years, hasn't she? A couple inches?
Actually, in the last year, she's grown 2.5 inches, according to her mom. Her mom did the exact same thing. She really grew up quite quickly. She said it's very funny when looking at photographs of herself and her daughter when she was little. It's like you can't tell them apart.
But did she do gymnastic elements like this coming up right here, her first test?
This is beautiful. The extension of the legs.
Oh, it's gorgeous. And that is not.
Oh.
Well, Tim, let's say that this was a three-team race. Let's say it was the United States, China, and Russia. China's had the major mistake. Now Russia's had the major mistake, and that's the kind of miss the United States hasn't had.
Not at all. And with that mistake right there, it puts USA so much closer to winning this World Championships. It makes it a heck of a lot easier.
The next gymnast on the bars is Elizabeth Tweddle, representing Great
Even with that fall, this routine is still a remarkable set. I mean, she has such great difficulty, including that very risky double turn.
You know, I watched her throughout the week, and I think I saw her make that turn one time. And this one right here, too.
And she hits it when it counts. But that fall, devastating.
Well, but the mind games are so unbelievable. I mean, the hardest thing to do is seal the deal. Those three routines are going to be very hard. Back to Elizabeth Tweddle of Great Britain.
And hold on, because this is nonstop from start to finish. You can't even tell what she's doing when she gets going here. Watch
It's
this.
exhausting.
Unbelievable. It's just huge release after release. It's a travesty. She didn't qualify for the event finals.
You cannot take your eyes off of Elizabeth.
Yeah, you don't even, it just happens so quick.
But what a shame. What a shame she didn't make it to the finals.
But that routine in a packed O2 arena 10 months from now,
they will go crazy. Yep.
Oh, you compare the tempo of what she just did to what the Romanians did, for example. They looked like they were in slow motion. Meanwhile, for the Russians, it's damage control. Their third rotation continues next. A moment ago in Tokyo, Japan, Anna Dementyeva of Russia on the balance beam.
She earns high praise from her coaches. They say that she is the hardest worker by far. Alexandrov said 10 hours. She could spend 10 hours in the gym and come back and do it all again the next day.
Well, it certainly had paid off for her this year. She won the Russian Cup. She also won the European Championships. They have high expectations for her.
So does Elizabeth Tweddle at next year's Olympics. She gets a 15.666.
And that is the highest score on uneven bars all day. And you know, all of the Russian coaches, they recognize the tremendous hard work, but you see all the little balance checks. They say that she's a great athlete, but she just doesn't have the confidence. She doubts herself. Every one of these landings,
right.
She is, as opposed to like Raisman, who is just laser beam focused. She gets a little bit careful, and you cannot be careful and not have balance checks or falls on the beam.
She's also taking quite a bit of time preparing for her dismount. Just overall, a little bit on the cautious side.
So that was Dementyeva 14.9 for the Russians in a rotation that has opened a huge world championship door for the United States. And now another look at Catalina Ponor.
And
she really carries herself like a pro.
Yeah, she does. Well, she is a pro. She's a three-time Olympic gold medalist, as we said 7 years ago, though. But on this exercise, all her strengths are still there, and her strengths are power.
Well, Tim, you said it before, she has all her difficulty back, but the only area is just a little bit of polish in some of the tumbling passes, a little sloppy in the knees, and those landings. That's what's changed since 2004.
Elfie, explain a little bit more. I mean, a 14.63 from the judges.
Right, it's a good score, but look at the knees, look at the form breaks that she incurs in her tumbling passes. And the other thing that I meant about the landings, judges want you to nail those landings, not take little hops like that. Those are deductions.
I mentioned the score, and now the rhythmic chanting tells you the third rotation is done. These are going to be extraordinary opportunities for the United States. 3 more routines to go for a gold medal in Tokyo.